Welcome to Stay Strong, Stay You, the community that is redefining strength, one story at a time. I'm your host, Becca Boston, and I'm on a mission to help you recognize that your strength is giving your pain a voice and receiving the help you need while staying true to who you are. And this is the Stay Strong, Stay You podcast.
What's going on, beautiful people? I'm back. This Stay Strong, Stay You podcast is back. And honestly, I'm really excited to be back. If you've been with me for a while, I hope you are equally as excited that this Stay Strong, Stay You podcast is back. If you're new here, you may be like, what do you mean you're back? Who are you? What is Stay Strong, Stay You? First and foremost, welcome to those of you guys who are new. My name is Becca Boston. This is the Stay Strong, Stay You podcast. Welcome to the Stay Strong, Stay You community. I am honestly, truly grateful for each and every single one of you. No matter if you've been rocking and rolling with me for some time now, or you are new, this is your day one. I just appreciate each and every single one of you for taking time out of your day to hit play and to spend time with me. Your presence is truly a gift. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. Now listen, I am a big-hearted extrovert, and I love connecting with other people. And I would love to connect with you guys who are tuning in. And if you can do me a favor, tag me on your Instagram stories, message me on Instagram at Becca Boston 26, and let me know that you tuned in. Let me know your biggest takeaway, or let me know any feedback that you may have. I would just love to hear from each and every single one of you that have taken the time to tune in and to hit play. So I look forward to connecting with each and every single one of you over on Instagram at Becca Boston 26. Now, if you guys are new here, this is going to be the episode for you guys because I am going to take it back in time. I'm going to share how Stay Strong, Stay You came about and the history of the Stay Strong, Stay You podcast and where I see us going. So if you've been rocking and rolling with me for some time now, we are going to walk down memory lane. So buckle up for the journey. But if you're new here, this is going to be the episode for you because we're about to take it on back. So let's take it on back to a year that we all lived a lot. A year that I think all of us were wondering if it would ever end. And we are now 5 years out of it. I am talking about the year 2020. All right. We all lived a lot. I know sometimes we say that and people just get triggered into all that we lived within that year. But there's so many different aspects of 2020 that I feel like I could really dive into. But I do just want to say this, that I woke up January 1st, 2020 with an immense amount of regret. I feel like I was still trying to live for society's expectations of what beauty is, not really owning my authentic beauty of my heart, my character, and who I am as a person. I feel like I was still putting on makeup and trying to fit into society's sense of beauty, when in reality, there is no amount of makeup that can cover up an ugly heart and an ugly character. And I feel like I was still trying to fit in with people that I didn't necessarily want to be hanging around, right? So I woke up January 2020 and I made a commitment to myself that this is going to be my year. This is going to be the year that I create a greater version of myself. This is going to be the year that I unpack the trauma that is packed in my mental suitcase and that I create a greater version of me. And what a crazy year to say that that was going to be the year that I unpack trauma, that I create a greater version of myself. But I woke up January 1st, 2020, ready to go, ready to take back control of my life. And I started to make changes. I started reading again. I'm going to be honest, before 2020, I wasn't even really a reader. I'm dyslexic. I do have an auditory processing disorder, and I see my learning disability as my superpower now. But I will say that there was a time that I never thought I would be a reader. And to now say that not only am I a reader, but a 2-time bestselling author is just crazy. But yeah, I wasn't really reading before 2020. So I started reading audiobooks and all of that. My first challenge within 2020 honestly came in February. I took little to no rest So this is a reminder that rest is productive in a wide variety of ways. But I did end up getting a stress fracture and torn ligament in my ankle because I took little to no rest in my fitness journey and ended up with that stress fracture and torn ligaments. I was in crutches and in a boot, and I continued to crutch into the gym, continued to work out, but I was obviously really excited to get my boot off and just get back into the gym. The day that my boot came off, the very next day, the gym shut down due to the pandemic. And I'm not going to lie, that was a really big loss for me. The gym was and still is a great outlet for me. And it was also a place where I had really built a strong sense of community. I got along with a lot of the personal trainers, a lot of the members at that gym. And when it shut down, I just remember feeling like it was a really big loss. Not only that, but when the world shut down, my world actually got busier. I was an essential healthcare worker. I was a caregiver for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I was actually the care coordinator, and then worked up as the training coordinator. But yeah, the world shut down and my world got busier. And it had its pros and cons, right? I was watching as so many of my friends and so many people across the world were losing jobs and questioning when their next check was going to come, rightfully so, right? Meanwhile, I know that I'm going to get a paycheck, but I'm also stressing out because my hours are increasing. There's still a lot of unknowns and chaos with caregivers quitting, etc. And I remember Trent Shelton sharing a quote that really hit home at the time. He said, "You can allow the chaos of the world to control you, or you can control your world." And that's what I did. I allowed the world to become my gym. I would go out and work out in my backyard. I would make the world my gym and go on hikes. I did invest into a friend at the time who was a personal trainer. I also invested into Trent Shelton's personal development program. So I began to take control of my world and continue to invest into myself. And at the same time, I did have my own challenges. The pandemic did take a toll on my mental health. And I had a trainer who always told me, keep being you, Beck. Keep being you. And honestly, those words meant so much to me. We had a great relationship, and just to hear those words coming from him really meant a lot. And when the pandemic happened and the gym shut down and I lost communication with him, it almost became a trigger to remind me what I lost. So what was once a positive quote now became a challenging quote because it was reminding me of the thing that I no longer had. I couldn't go to the gym. I wasn't seeing the members of the gym community, right? So I had to recognize that I had to change the narrative. And throughout time, I began to look at myself in the mirror and I said, stay strong, Beck. Just stay strong. And for me, my strength wasn't about how heavy I can lift, how hard I can take a hit, or how much I can handle. My strength at times was me giving my pain a voice and receiving the help that I needed. For me, my strength at times was learning to let the tears flow, understanding that tears are watering your seeds of greatness. My strength at times was me not even feeling like I was strong, but knowing that God was giving me the strength to get through the difficult moment, to get through that difficult day. My strength at times was me showing up for me. And I began to just say, stay strong, Beck. And then eventually I started saying, stay you. Because I didn't want to change who I was as a person to fit into a mold of what society expected. I wanted to create me again. I wanted to discover who I was again. And eventually it became stay strong, stay you, Beck. Stay strong, stay you. And eventually I added on stay strong, stay you because you got this. And I added on the because you got this because I'm sure you've gone through this too. But I've had some people that, say, I got you. I got you. The words are there, but the actions aren't, right? They don't follow through with what they said they were going to do. And there were multiple times that I had to remind myself that whether they show up or not, I have to show up for me. And I had to remind myself that I got this. God got me. And as long as God got me, that's all that matters. So eventually it becomes stay strong, stay you, because you got this, Beck. And during the time of the pandemic, I had hopped on this app called TikTok because I was bored in the house bored. Not as much as others because I was still working, but it did become a outlet for me. I honestly had no intentions of having a following or a platform. It was really just a place for me to be creative. But as time went on, people began to relate to my messages, stories that I was telling, and it was a really kind of full circle moment for me. For those of you who don't know my story, I once thought about throwing in the towel of my life. I sat underneath a tree thinking about throwing in the towel of my life when God threw the towel back at me, saying, "Your life isn't over." As a video popped up across my phone called "Your Life Isn't Over" by Trent Shelton. And that night I went home and I made myself a promise that no matter how hard life gets, I will keep on coloring. Some days being dark and other days being bright and beautiful, but no matter what, I am the artist to my life and I will keep on coloring. So when people began to tell me that my videos were impacting them, one person in particularly messaging me that my video saved their life, it was a full circle moment. And as time went on, I began to include my motto, stay strong, stay you, at the end of every video. And as I shared that strength isn't about how hard you can take a hit, how much you can lift, or how much you can handle, that your strength is giving your pain a voice and receiving the help you need while staying true to who you are, people began to be impacted. People began to relate. People began to give their pain a voice in the comments and in the DMs. And throughout time, community began to begin. You know, I'm thinking of particularly about this one live that I did. I was on live eating tortillas. I would often be eating something because here was the thing. I think some people are like, eating while on live or, you know, on social media is gross. And I get it. It's not for everyone. If it's not for you, keep scrolling, right? But for me, especially during that time, I didn't have family around to have dinner with. And me going live and having dinner at that time was a way for me to connect with people and for me not to feel so lonely. So I was eating tortillas, just plain tortillas. I love tortillas. Don't ask questions, all right? And somebody was in there saying that they were having a really hard time. And they weren't in a place where they really wanted to give their pain a voice, and always respect that people don't want to do it in the comments, right? And I just said, you know, I'm here to do whatever I can to at least put a smile on your face. And in that moment, as I'm looking down at this tortilla, I don't know if anybody remembers the bologna faces where you like bite two eyes and a mouth and you put it up to your face. That's what I did with her tortilla. And everyone in the comments was just laughing and laughing and laughing. And it put a really, really big smile on this individual's face. And they later messaged me, letting me know that act of kindness just went so far, and that live was one of the reasons that they're still here today. And that was the moment in which at that time we were like, you know what, this is the tortilla support group. So we did like start a group chat, et cetera, et cetera. But it was really cool to see just the ripple effect. You know, for me, it's never been about the numbers. It has always been about that one person impact, understanding that one person impact can create a ripple effect, and having that trust that God will, you know, create that ripple effect. You know, we are all just droplets, and together we come together to create the ocean. But, you know, I think it's been a journey and a half, because the impact that people were sharing with me was incredibly life-giving. And at the same time, I don't think they fully recognized the impact that they were making on my life, right? one day I was on live, and at that time within TikTok, which is crazy to also be talking about because like TikTok could be gone like next week, but might gonna find out, as my friend would say. Oh, rest in peace, my friend. But back in that day, you could only create 15 seconds to a minute video. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. You didn't have, like, these days, if you're not familiar with TikTok, you have 15 seconds, you have a minute, and you have like 10 minutes. And back then, it was so much shorter. Like, you only had 15 seconds to a minute. And I was on live connecting with the community, and there were multiple people saying that they wish that they could hear me talk longer than just 1 minute on my videos. And I was like, well, that's what live's for, you know? Like, we're here, we're connecting, and et cetera, et cetera. And somebody said, no, you should start a podcast. And it's like, me? Me. You want me to start a podcast? I can't start a podcast. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to start. I don't know the process. Right? And make a long story short, several days later, I was like, maybe I should start a podcast. I don't know the full steps, but I can figure it out, I'm sure. It must not be that hard. And that's what I did. Figured it out. At that time, I downloaded a certain app where you could just record it straight on your phone because I wasn't comfortable getting on camera yet for talking for extended amounts of time. And I specifically remember my very first podcast episode. It's still out there if you want to go back and listen to it. But I remember being so anxious and walking back and forth in my room and talking about anxiety and how I deal with my anxiety and calling out my anxiety. And, you know, I think I look back on that episode and part of me wants to say it's cringe, but it's growth. Honestly, we all have to start somewhere. And sometimes you just have to start messy and improve along the way. Like, I'm going to be honest right now. Like, this whole mic thing is new to me. I'm honestly off of a busy road. You guys may be hearing some cars and some traffic in the back. But, you know, I'm having to start with what I have right now, and we'll improve along the way. But I think sometimes the hardest part is just starting. And I remember just having so much anxiety that I was like, I'm just going to call it out in this episode that I have so much anxiety about starting this. But I also feel like I meant to do this. And it took that one person just calling it out and me having the courage to take the step. So I don't know what step you need to take. I don't know what has been on your heart to do, but I just want you to just start. If it's making a video, tag me. I'll be there to hype you up in the comments. But what is that one thing that you need to start? Start today. You don't need a new year to start something new. You need a new moment. And that moment is right here, right now. All right, my friends? So that was January